Coming up on News Center 16 at 5.
Outrage and tension boiling in Benton Harbor after a deadly exchange of gunfire between an officer and a man who was killed. News Center 16 is live in Benton Harbor with a full report on the shooting investigation. Plus, hear a heated reaction from those who personally knew the suspect.
The final face-off as both candidates gear up for tomorrow's debate in Las Vegas. New troubles emerge surrounding the Clinton Foundation while Trump continues to fight sexual allegations.
And as I said yesterday, it'll be back to reality later this week. I'll let you know what that means coming up.
From WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, this is News Center 16 at 5.
Maybe it was an accident. Maybe it wasn't. We'll never know because the investigation is going so rocky to where's who has the correct story.
A white police officer shot and killed a black resident in Benton Harbor overnight.
The family says the man shot is 28-year-old Darius Wimberly. Although police say Wimberly shot first, they're not sure he knew that he was actually shooting at police officers.
Good evening, I'm Maureen McFadden.
And I'm Terry McFadden.
We have team coverage from Benton Harbor this evening that includes Mark Peterson with an in-depth look at the shooting, and Casey Cronus has reaction from an angered community wanting answers.
But first we start with Mark Peterson. And Mark, there was more than one officer in the line of fire, right?
There were 4 officers involved in this scenario, which at first glance looked like some type of setup, some type of ambush. Police called to the 900 block of Pavone Street after 2 in the morning. They were told one man was being held by another at gunpoint. Turned out not to be true. The homeowner was fine. The homeowner wasn't the one who made the call, although some real trouble did start when the officers and the homeowner took their conversation out on the front porch, the front steps. That is when bullets started flying.
The officers felt as if they were being shot at. One officer describes as having a bullet whizzed by his head. At this point, I don't know if we're ready to say it was. I think preliminarily we don't think that it was an ambush. Pavone is very dark, especially at night, very, very dark. So it's quite possible that it was shooting at movement. We can't not say for sure that he was shooting at officers.
The individual that showed up at the scene, the suspect, if you will, was at that scene because he was targeting an individual at the residence.
Police say the suspect fired 7 shots. No one hit, no one injured. The police fired at least 15 shots. Of course, Darius Wimberly shot and killed.
And Mark, what about the 911 call? Where did that come from?
We weren't told specifically who made it, just that the person who made it was in fear of the gunman rather than somehow working in cahoots with him, in concert with him.
All right, Mark Peterson reporting live tonight from Benton Harbor. Mark, thanks.
As with any police-involved shooting, this one is sure to raise questions on all sides. News Center 16's Casey Cronus joins us live with the latest on how the community is handling this. So, Casey, what's the mood been like there today?
There are a lot of unanswered questions this evening, and it's not sitting well with members of the Benton Harbor community or folks who live in the neighborhood where Darius Wimberly was shot. That includes the suspect's relatives. Family members attended this morning's press conference. Among them, there was a sense of shock, anger, and resentment. Now, one of Wimberly's friends tells us he was known as Karate for his love of the martial art, describing him as a kind and generous person. And even after Benton Harbor's Director of Public Safety discussed details of the investigation, including that Wimberly fired about 7 rounds toward the home officers were exiting, she says she's not buying it.
But I do know that the whole investigation sounds like a load of crap. I can tell you that. The whole investigation of it it doesn't sound right at all. It doesn't even look right. Like, I've never seen an ambulance take a dead body, maybe come out and work on the body trying to save it, but they usually don't pick it up. You have to wait till the coroner comes to get it. So it just all sounds crazy. Nobody has a straight answer for anything. He couldn't give any of the news reporters a straight answer of nothing that was going on. So it just sounds like baloney. He just got up there with something political to say, and he really looked crazy saying it.
Immediate family members declined to comment and also requested not to be filmed at this morning's news conference. Now, around 4 p.m. this afternoon, Mayor Marcus Muhammad held a community relations meeting, and there he didn't discuss the ongoing investigation, rather said that he's confident there won't be riots in Benton Harbor and says he wants to bring the community together. And we'll have more for you on that at 6.
Okay, Casey, and what did the block where this happened look like today?
There was a huge crowd on Pavone. Mood was very tense, and it was very clear they did not want the media there.
All right, Casey Cronus live from Benton Harbor. Thank you. And remember to stay with News Center 16 on air and online for the very latest on the shooting investigation. Mark and Casey will stay on this story. We'll check back in with them coming up on News Center 16 at 6.
In South Bend, police are still looking into a shooting that sent one man to the hospital. It happened last night around 8:30 at the Beacon Heights Apartments. Neighbors say they saw a man running around with a gun by the time police arrived. They found one man who had been shot several times. He was taken to the hospital in serious condition. At this time, police have yet to release any names. Well, turning to the weather now, we're a little more than halfway through October. When should we expect the temperatures to drop, Mike?
Terry, it's already starting out there right now. We've seen a cold front come through most of Michiana, and it'll continue to drop the temperature. Now, not for all of you. You can see on 16 Doppler Max, see that little line there between just south of Plymouth and over to just south of LaGrange? That is the cold front, and so it is turning cooler to the north of that, still pretty mild to the south. You can see there's almost no rain along this. These are very light showers and sprinkles. So my hour-by-hour forecast, a few spots in our southern counties through 7 p.m. could still see a sprinkle or a brief shower. Other than that, clearing skies expected. Temperatures still not too bad by 9 o'clock, but at 61 degrees. We'll let you know when the really chilly air starts to come into Michiana with my 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Mike. One day before the final presidential debate, the race is getting even harder to stomach, with new charges that the Clinton campaign tried to manipulate the FBI probe of her emails, and new charges by Donald Trump that the voting on November 8th will be rigged. Steve Handelsman has the latest.
Mr. Donald J. Donald Trump campaigning today in Colorado, a red state where he's lost his lead in the polls, again implied the presidency could be stolen.
But they even want to try and rig the election at the polling booths, where so many cities are corrupt.
Trump running mate Mike Pence went to the Republican office firebombed in North Carolina, called the attack political terrorism, and called for Trump's supporters to observe at the polls November 8th to ensure fairness.
The American people can ensure the integrity of this election, and I'm confident we'll do that.
President Obama, appearing in Washington with the Italian Prime Minister, slammed Trump for suggesting the election could be rigged.
I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining and go try to make his case to get votes.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton's problems worsened, with the allegation her State Department sought a deal with the FBI, a quid pro quo. If FBI declassified a Clinton email, so her sending it did not break rules, State would allow more FBI agents into Iraq. State denies any deal.
Those conversations were happening at the same time, but they were not linked.
USA Today reports major donors to Clinton's campaign were lobbyists from Microsoft, ExxonMobil, and other corporate giants who pressed the State Department to help their corporate clients. At tomorrow night's debate in Las Vegas, election rigging, emails and the FBI probe, and Trump's alleged sexual assaults are sure to be topics. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Las Vegas.
The final candidate face-off could be the last time ever that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump share a stage.
In less than 2 hours, former Democratic Senator Evan Bayh and Republican Representative Todd Young will face each other in tonight's debate for Indiana's open Senate seat. The campaign to replace retiring Republican Senator Dan Coats has become a key one as the GOP looks to retain its narrow Senate majority. The hour-long debate is set to begin at 7 p.m., where Bayh and Young will be joined by Libertarian candidate Lucy Brenton. You can stream the debate live on our website, WNDU.com. Should an official investigation be launched looking into 3rd District Congressman Marlin Stutzman? That's what the House Ethics Panel is deciding. The committee received a submission from the Office of Congressional Ethics recommending a probe into Stutzman. This after a report outlined potential infractions. However, that report won't be made public for 45 days. Stutzman is leaving the House after losing the GOP primary to replace retiring GOP Senator Dan Coats.
An open house in Blessing today was held for the new Pocky and Brian Kelly Comprehensive Breast Center. The public was able to tour the facility between 3 and 5 p.m., but beforehand, Fort Wayne South Bend Diocese Bishop Kevin Rhodes blessed each of the rooms in the 10,000 square foot facility. It was made possible in part by a $6 million donation from the Kelly Cares Foundation, founded by two-time breast cancer survivor Pocky Kelly and husband Brian. Pocky told me to finally welcome the public and have the center blessed was a long time coming.
It's a closure but a beginning, and you know the staff and the facilities here are amazing, and I just feel like it's really special to me, and I'm thinking this is where we start moving forward and knocking this thing out and getting it early. We just need people to come in and get their mammograms.
If you couldn't make it to today's open house, I took a tour with Pocky and medical director Dr. Michael Rotkus, and that story aired yesterday. You can just go to our website and click on the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is finally over. Potbelly has set up shop in the Princess City and made its grand debut today. The restaurant is bringing more than just toasted sandwiches for Hoosiers to enjoy. Folks can also get a taste of milkshakes, smoothies, baked goods, salads, and even enjoy the sounds of live music.
We'll have live music 3 days a week. He'll be back on Friday, and then we're actually looking to do a little bit more live music in the future as well.
I like the fresh food, and the potato soup was really good, and the guy singing in there was excellent, and the service was great. Everybody was really friendly.
Potbelly is located at 5111 Main Street, just south of Douglas. It'll be open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday.
Still ahead, a child's first taste of a macadamia nut turned terrifying when he began having an allergic reaction.
To prevent the same incident from happening twice, the boy's parents found a way to keep an EpiPen on hand at all times. We'll tell you how it works next. Well, are you getting a ton of spam phone calls even if you're on the do not call list?
There's a gaping hole in that list, and robocallers have figured out a way to slide right through.
A couple years ago, the scammers did not sound like Rachel from Card Services. They sounded like people that were scamming you.
Scammers evade the do not call list by sending bogus numbers to caller ID and hiding the source. A lot of the calls come from other countries. So the government came up with a robocall strike force made up of companies all working towards a solution. The FCC says don't answer a call from a number you don't know. If you accidentally answer, don't hit the numbers. That lets the robo know a human answered. Registered landlines with the FCC approved website NomoRobo can screen incoming numbers against a database of known scammers.
When a young boy had a severe allergic reaction from eating nuts, his parents started carrying the EpiPen, but they soon discovered the drug in the device needed to be protected from hot and cold temperatures. So they invented this. It's called the EpiShell. It's a special case for the EpiPen, and with the case, EpiPens can be protected from extreme temperatures, so anyone can take their EpiPen on the go.
When we go outside with our son, when we're camping, when we're skiing, I want to know that his EpiPen's going to work. I want to know that I'm protecting the drug that's inside the EpiPen.
The EpiShell just launched to the public a week ago and is available for pre-orders for about $40. The Wengreen say the price will increase slightly after launch, but they want to keep their product affordable.
Taking a walk after dinner may help improve blood sugar levels for those diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Researchers prescribed 41 diabetics to either take one 30-minute walk at any time of the day or take a 10-minute walk after each meal. Post-meal blood sugar levels were 12% lower when the patients walked right after eating. And walking after evening meals, which tend to be higher in carbohydrates, improved glucose levels by 22%.
Coming up, two friends that played tennis together were suddenly stricken with the same rare condition causing severe shortness of breath.
That they were. Hear how a new treatment has improved their breathing and quality of life next in today's Medical Moment.
The latest health news for you and your family. This is Maureen's Medical Moment.
Two healthy and active friends were suddenly hit with the same chronic shortness of breath. In today's Medical Moment, hear how a new treatment is making breathing much easier. It's often misdiagnosed and can restrict breathing and reduce lung capacity to that of someone 30 years older. But a new procedure is now treating a debilitating condition called diaphragm paralysis.
Here you go.
These healthy, active tennis club teammates, Marita Dowell and Pat Schoenig, began suddenly suffering from the same chronic shortness of breath.
The worst problem that I had with the breathing was that I was uncomfortable 24/7.
It was completely debilitating when the breathing became an issue. I couldn't take a deep breath, which affected everything.
Both women had partial diaphragm paralysis, often resulting from shoulder surgery, as Dowell had, or heart surgery. Dr. Matthew Kaufman developed a new minimally invasive way to treat it. Dr. Kaufman reconstructs the phrenic nerve, the nerve that helps control the movement of the diaphragm. He enters the lower neck and implants another nerve taken from the leg.
The procedure is intended to restore function to a muscle that's paralyzed. And the muscle that we're talking about is the muscle of breathing. If there's an injury to the phrenic nerve anywhere along this pathway, either on the right or the left side, this half of the muscle will not work.
It's a miracle.
Now I'm relaxed. I can do things. I can play with the kids. I can play tennis.
I can hike now. I can, ride a bike, and I don't lose my breath.
I'm thrilled to be hitting a ball. I don't care if I win.
Both ladies are now breathing easier. Dr. Matthew Kaufman says his office receives about 300 inquiries annually from those with diaphragm paralysis around the country. To read the research summary for today's story, you can go to WNDU.com and click on the Medical Moment. Terry?
Next, Mo, baby elephants are known for being adorable, but who knew they were so brave? You'll be amazed by what this one did. We'll take a look when we return. A little elephant is getting quite the buzz after it made a big display of bravery in Thailand. Take a look. In a mock rescue, the co-founder of an elephant foundation called for help pretending to be drowning. Little Kamla braces the river waters to save the man, even sheltering him with her trunk. She's part of the Save Elephant Foundation, which has rescued more than 70 elephants and houses them in a natural habitat